Look, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, but for a very long time, people blamed him for being who he is, for asking people to stay in their countries and fix their countries, for asking people to develop their own nations, for calling some countries shithole countries. I know it came across as rude, as disrespectful, but I think that was more part of his character as a person than racism. Okay, and I'm saying this is a black person. I don't think that was necessarily racism. I don't think that was necessarily what they painted to be. I feel like Donald Trump, by saying stay in your country, fix your country, do well in your country, it was a way for him to ask people to be independent, ask Africans especially to work hard and better their own countries. Because as you know, we all know, for many, many years, many Africans have been fleeing the continent looking for better opportunities in Europe and in the US. And I can understand. For many, many years, there has been better opportunities in Europe, much better opportunities in the United States for Africans. I don't think that's valid today. I don't think, at least not as valid as it used to be in the past. Many people have been risking their lives in the Mediterranean Sea, trying to cross through Libya into very difficult time, very hard situation, harsh weather, being imprisoned, living in very difficult conditions, some of them being taken into slavery, hoping to come and cross the Mediterranean River, some of them drowning, some of them passing away, some of them seeing the worst, just in order to go across Europe and find a better life, supposedly, in France or Belgium or Britain. In the meantime, if you look at France itself, many African nationals sleep outside because they have no shelter. They have nothing to live on. They eat very little food. They're in the street. And my man, just look at this image and you tell me, explain to me, how can you leave your African country, your home, where you probably had, I don't know what food you eat, pap or fufu, whatever. You ate chicken nicely. You live in a very fair condition. To go live in France outside where there are no houses, I don't understand how a normal person can do something like that. Okay, as much as we think it is better out there, but how many Africans go to France or Belgium and come back to Africa like rich millionaires? You don't see that. Okay, despite pictures, people send you pictures, beautiful pictures of Eiffel Towers, beautiful picture next to the sea, beautiful pictures on the boat, working. But I don't see millionaires coming from Europe. Some African dude that went to Europe and came back, became a millionaire. Have you seen that before? Somebody went to London, came back to Nigeria, became a millionaire. I don't see that. People become millionaires in Africa. Africa is where people become millionaires because everything is still blank. Everything is still white. It's like they give you a spreadsheet that's completely blank. It's for you to fill it in with your ideas, with everything you have. And this is saddening to see. The money that people spend paying these middlemen, paying these people that pass you through difficult areas, the money they pay to these middlemen to help them cross Libya, money they pay to middlemen and help them to cross the Mediterranean Sea. It's enough money to start a business in Africa. People spend 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros, 3,000 euros to cross to go to Europe. This money, you can start something in a corner of your neighborhood and do something good for yourself. And many people are just too lazy to do that. And it's very saddening. Many people have called Trump once more racist because he said, stay in your country, fix your country. Why can't we stay in our countries and fix our countries? Why do we have to always put the blame on our leaders, saying our leaders are wrong, our leaders are corrupt, our leaders are this and that? Let me tell you what, where do the leaders come from? Our leaders come from our communities. They are our people. They are us. Most of these leaders were exactly who we are before they became who they are today. They probably went in with very good ideas and very slowly shifted into stealing, robbing the country of its resources. Why can't we go back to our countries? Why can't we stay in Africa and build Africa? Why? Because we blame things on our leaders. Now, if we know the leaders are the issue, why can't we sort out the leaders? If we know the leaders are the issues of Africa, why can we not do something about it? Why are Africans scared to stand strong against their leaders and topple them if necessary in order to have a productive continent? Because we're cowards, because we're too scared to die. We think they're going to send somebody to us to go finish our family because we don't have the guts to be strong together, because we don't know how to stand together, strong, hand in hand, to fight for one cause. We're very good at fighting each other, excellent at destroying one another. We know completely what to do when it comes to doing something wrong to somebody that looks exactly like us, somebody that are going through the same type of issues we are going through. We know how to do that. We are very weak when it comes to standing strong together against an external force. We don't know how to fight against the leaders that are against our own growth. Africa is beautiful. Africa has so many things to offer, so much opportunities. As soon as we understand that Africa is where everything is, this is going to change completely our perspective toward Africa. Let me tell you something. There are many countries in Europe today that comes to many countries in Africa without a visa. Do you understand that? Let me give you a simple example for South Africa. A French person or French passport holder would come to South Africa for 3 months without a visa. A Belgian passport holder will come to South Africa for 3 months with no visa required. But a South African person will not go to France without a visa, or Belgium. A British person will come to South Africa with no visa at all. But a South African citizen needs a visa to go to Britain. Is that fair? Where is the pride? And it's not South Africa alone. Many other African countries are like that. Where is the pride? When an African national is arrested in Europe, in any other country, because he overstayed, he's jailed immediately, sent to court immediately to be prosecuted and probably sent back to his country. This does not necessarily apply in Africa for Europeans. They live like kings. They have no issues, no problem. They can overstay, and they will leave at the airport with no difficulties. Nobody to worry them at all because people are too scared to ask them questions. Africans need to value themselves, put themselves to the pedestal. The world can only treat us in a way that we treat ourselves. If we give ourselves the value that we deserve, the world will begin to respect us. Look at the way Africans are treated in Lebanon. All these young ladies that go work there, they are thrown over hills, they are thrown over balconies. Some of them are beaten, they are mistreated, they are raped, they are abused. Look at Africans that go to India, how they're treated in India. Young Africans that go to India to study, some of them are beaten, some of them are abused, some of them live very difficult situation in India. When these boys and girls are persecuted in India, nobody calls into accountability the Indian embassies in Africa. Let's say Nigerian boy is beaten in India. No one calls the Indian ambassador in Nigeria for accountability. How do you expect Indians to respect Africa? If you don't show that sense of follow-up, if you don't show that your children are important to you, nobody can respect it. Now think about it this way. If somebody ever did something wrong to an African national in a foreign country, you called the ambassador of that country to come and respond, how would their behavior be? They will completely change. They will treat your citizen with much respect because you're calling them into action. And this is what I'm saying. We Africans need to think about our continent. And I'm not saying people should not go to Europe or United States. We see many people go and lie over their situation so they can stay in Europe and United States. Even pastors are lying. I've seen many stories of pastors going to Europe, the United States. They will narrate a story about war, saying, oh, well, I come from a war-torn country. I was persecuted. They almost killed me. And it's a complete lie. And then he opens a big church and preaches to you about Jesus and how to be honest, how can you open a big church and preach people about Jesus, about truthfulness when your residency is based on lies? It doesn't make any sense. We need to shift the mentality from being beggars to being owners, because we own the world. We have all the resources. We have everything. The scramble right now about the world is about Africa. The United States and Russia, everybody, even China, everybody's trying to gain the attention and the sympathy of Africa. We are the only people that are trying to run away from our continent while everybody else is trying to get into our continent. We are the only people who's trying to run away from their continent while everybody else is trying to get their feet in the continent. You will never see somebody doing an honest work out of Africa and come back as a millionaire. You'll never see that. People becoming millionaires in Africa. People are changing their lives tremendously in the continent of Africa. And we are the only people running away while Chinese are coming and building roads. We are only running away while Chinese are coming and constructing, building infrastructure, organizing. These people coming to the continent very slowly but swiftly becoming rich while we're just impoverished. We're just busy looking at each other, blaming one another for our failures. It's unbelievable. I don't think Donald Trump was racist. I think many people did not understand his message. I feel like he wanted everybody to develop their own home. Fix your own country. Make sure it's good. If your leaders are corrupt, throw them over. Find better leaders. Unite, work together, put money together, put intelligence together so the continent can move forward. Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.